I'm sure that you've heard of IQ and EQ before, but have you ever heard of AQ? In today's video, I'm going to unpack the adversity quotient and talk about why it's so critical to develop our adversity quotient to become a better leader in our lives and in the lives of others, and 4 practical tools that you can lean into to increase your AQ. The term adversity quotient is coined by Dr. Paul Stultz, who is a leader in the field of resilience research. And essentially, the adversity quotient means our ability to be able to bounce back from setbacks and to overcome adversity and challenges in our lives. The more we are able to develop that deeper sense of resilience in the face of challenge, the higher our adversity quotient is. There are 4 key factors that influence the adversity quotient, and that can be reduced down to what is called the core model. The first one is control, and I often refer to the word agency here. We cannot control the external things that happen in our lives, but we can always come back to controlling our response to the things that happen. Even if we boil down the word, responsibility is reclaiming the ability to respond to the things that happen in my life. So I'm developing that deeper sense of agency, that deeper sense that I am in control of where I am leading my life. The second is ownership. Own your shit. We live in a culture that is constantly outsourcing wrongness. We are constantly criticizing, judging, blaming other people and other factors for the things that are going wrong in our lives. And as long as I continue to do this, I will remain a victim in my life and powerless to affect the change that I really need to make. Until I can grab the reins and take ownership for what happens in my life and the impact that that has on me and those around me, I will remain stuck to the external influences that are happening in my life. I will not be able to grab the reins and actually lead myself in the direction that I truly desire to go. This involves me getting crystal clear on what I stand for and the values that I desire to show up as. And when I'm not in alignment with those values that I hold, then there is an impetus on me that I go and clean up those places that I've been out of alignment, where I've been out of integrity, that I acknowledge the impact that my actions have had on myself and the people around me. I need to start cleaning up my own shit. I need to own it. Yeah, I'm responsible, and I have the capacity and the courage to own that my actions have an impact on others, and I have a willingness to address those things and be vulnerable enough to admit that I make mistakes, that I'm flawed and I'm fallible, and I'm doing my best. And I'm going to keep doing better because I'm going to address where I'm falling short and I'm going to clean my shit up. The reality is I cannot be a victim and a leader at the same time. These archetypes both live within my mind, and I need to choose on a moment-to-moment basis which one of those I'm going to feed. Am I going to continue to outsource my decisions and the things that happen to external influences and blame other people or other things when things are going wrong in my life? Or am I going to accept that shitty things happen in my life and things don't always work out as I had ideally planned, and I can deal with that? I have a strong spine and an open heart to be able to navigate the situations in my life effectively. And I don't need to outsource my power to external authorities or other events. I can take the reins and decide how I am going to choose to be in this moment. The third aspect of the core model is reach. That means being able to ask for help. And as a man, I will say asking for help has been one of the hardest things that I still continue to confront to this day. It is such a push for me to be able to ask for help when I need it, I am great with when somebody's asking me for help, I can put down the other things and be there. And actually, I find a lot of value in showing up for other people in such a way. I desire to be of service. I desire to contribute to the well-being of the people in my life. And yet, so often I deny others of giving me that same gift. I think I need to be able to have it all together and move forward, and being able to actually just pause and ask for help or support of any kind is a challenge. And I know in the deepest truth of this that I have to confront my own self-worth to know that I'm worthy of being supported, that I'm worthy of becoming my best self, and that the people in my life desire to see me step into my greatness. And what a gift it is that I can give them when I give them an opportunity to be a stepping stone for me as I step into my greatness. So this is something I'm working on, and I know that many of you listening will be as well. And there's an invitation to remind yourself that you are not having to take this all on alone. You can ask for help, and that is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of self-love, and it is a sign of strength, and it is a gift that you can give to those around you because it will help you, and in turn, it will help them. The fourth piece of the core model is endurance. That's the ability to persist and endure through challenging times. It requires me cultivating the discipline and the consistency to keep getting back up. We live in a culture that is obsessed with comfort and convenience. And while this has its merit and its benefit, it also makes us weak, and it makes us very vulnerable to challenging situations. I'm going to have a harder time to regulate my nervous system, cultivate the discipline to move forward, and consciously choose to do hard things if I'm always pursuing comfort and convenience, or always pursuing that next dopamine hit. I need to consciously choose to put myself in those hard situations to be able to develop that sense of resilience, that sense of endurance through the hard things that I face in my life. After unpacking the core model, I'm sure it's clear that developing our AQ will have immediate and ripple effect benefits in our lives. And again, some of those, just to deepen into, is it will increase my sense of adaptability. In an evolutional context, despite us often talking about survival of the fittest, what is actually mentioned in the literature and in the practical research is the species that survive are those who can adapt to changing environments. So our ability to adapt to the changing environments, both internal and external, will ultimately help us evolve and grow, both at the individual level and at the collective of the species. That other piece that is so critical, I need to double down on it, is shifting from being a victim to being a leader in my life. It's so easy to be a cynic and a critic of all the things that are going wrong in the world and in my own life, and apply blame and wrongness and criticism to things that are outside of my control. And it really takes a tremendous amount of courage, discipline, and effort to grab the reins and steer my ship in the direction that I genuinely desire. To acknowledge that there are always going to be external factors that are out of my control, and to choose to do the hard thing anyways, to choose to do the thing that I know is what's right, not when people are watching, not for any particular external reason, but because I know it's the thing to do. To choose to live my life in alignment with where I desire to go, and to push through the adversity, to push through all the setbacks when my own internal dialogue tells me that I'm not worthy of achieving that thing, or when I experience failure or shame or shutdown from the people or the circumstances around me. I can pick myself back up and persist through, because I know that I'm leading to a bigger vision. This is critical to develop, and it's something that I think we genuinely need in our culture right now, as we're almost have this collective free-floating anxiety that we're not directing our energy and attention in the right places, and we know it. There's a feeling that we are out of alignment, out of integrity as individuals and as a collective. Often I see us continue to direct that in ways of external sourcing, be that individuals, be that a movement, be that whatever. Until we as individuals can reclaim our sense of agency and get clear on where we're really trying to lead our lives, we will continue to remain stuck in this soup of free-floating anxiety. We desperately need leaders, men and women who are willing to take radical ownership and responsibility in their lives and grab the reins for what is happening on a moment-to-moment basis and choose a different response so that they can take care of themselves and take care and serve the people who are closest to them. And that positive impact will ripple out. Now let's jump into 4 practical strategies that you can implement to increase your AQ. The first one is developing a growth mindset. When I was working in education, we talked a lot about a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And the fixed mindset is really this idea that I'm born with all of my talents and I can't develop new things. And while that seems super strange, we've created an education system that reinforces the things we are good at. We get grades based on the things that we achieve well. And so we tend to develop this natural aversion at a young age from doing the things that we're not so good at right away, the things that take time to develop. Cultivating a growth mindset means doing things that I'm not necessarily good at right away, but something I'm interested, something that I know will provide value for myself and for others in life, because I know I have the tools and capacity to be able to hone my skills. This is something that we can continue to cultivate and know that, hey, I need to suck before I get better. That's that whole idea of 10,000 hours and pouring time in. A lot of times we see what people achieve and forget all of the sacrifice and the failure that it took to get there. So remember that you're gonna suck before you get good at anything. And lean into that, embrace it, own it, find some joy in the failures. The second thing that will really help you increase your AQ is to deepen into a sense of purpose in your life. And that really involves starting to understand why I'm here on this planet. What am I here to do? Who am I here to show up as? What am I being called to bring into this day? The more I can have a sense that I am here for something and that I am part of something bigger than myself, it allows me to take all of my narcissistic attention that I place on the world revolving around me and be in contribution to something bigger than myself, some kind of grander plan, whether that's a God for you or a creator or a spirit. It doesn't really matter. But the sense that I am here part of some kind of bigger interconnected web, that I have a purpose here, that I have a place, and I need to step into that sense of contribution to play my part, to make this more beautiful world come into reality. If I can stay anchored and connected into a vision that I can contribute to, it makes it so much easier to navigate the inevitable turmoil, the turbulence that I'm going to face. I can anchor back and know I am here for a reason. This is hard right now. I'm going to get through this, but I need me, people need me, and my choices have an impact on everything around me. Every choice I make sends a ripple out into the world. And it's important that I become conscious and intentional and deliberate with the choices that I make. The third practical tool that you can do is start to develop an ability to regulate your nervous system. When we are stressed, we are going to be stuck in our sympathetic nervous system, stuck in that fight or flight, and even if it's really intense, that freeze response. When we are dysregulated and stuck in our sympathetic nervous system, we are inevitably going to make bad decisions. I need to be able to bring myself into that regulated parasympathetic nervous system so that I can make more calm, collected decisions in my life. And the first place to start is often the breath. When you notice stress is coming up in your body and maybe the breath is tight, first notice without needing to diagnose or problem solve it. Just notice, oh, my breath is short, it's shallow. Okay, can I deepen in? Can I breathe into my belly? Can I slow my breath down? Maybe try 4-6 breathing. Highly recommend that one as a way to slow down the body and release a little bit of stress with just that 4-second inhale and then 6-second exhale through the mouth. And just keep that going for a few minutes and notice the change that starts to happen in the body. The last practical tool that I'll talk about today is seeking support when we need it. That means deepening into our ability to ask for help. And obviously that's one of the factors within the adversity quotient, and it's something that I can't emphasize enough. We've bought in, so many of us men, to that most dangerous rule of men. If you're struggling, don't talk about it. And this is part of breaking that. The ability to recognize when the weight of the things that I'm carrying in my life are getting too heavy and that I need help and that a strong man asks for help. He knows when he needs his community to come around and support him so that he can be where he needs to be so that he can be of service. Really start to lean into the conversations with the people in your life who matter, your family, your friends, those who you love and trust, and start to share a little bit more about what's going on. And within that, being able to just ask for little aspects of help on little issues. Or if you got something that just feels too much to bear, put it out there to somebody who you trust deeply and lean in and say, hey, this is happening in my life and here's how it's impacting me. I really need this kind of support. Would you be able to help me? And insert a clear request. The more clear we get on the kind of support that we need, the more likely that help is able to be met. And that doesn't mean to be some kind of proactive solution, like I need this problem resolved, but it could even be as simple as, I'm really feeling this general sense of stress and disease. Would you be able to carve out 10 minutes just to sit and listen to me? Invitation for you this week to lean into something that is challenging to ask for help in and take that first step. I'm curious to hear from you. What do you think your level of AQ is in your life? And what practical tools and strategies do you use to deepen your ability to handle adversity, to become more resilient in your life? I'd love to know, so let me know down in the comments below. And if you thought this video was valuable, please share this with another man so that we can collectively expand our ability to lead in our own lives and in our communities. Thanks again for tuning in. This is Stu Murray checking out, and we'll see you next week.